Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house and I'm here with Jayson from Burton, and we are going to show you the bindings for the 21-22 season, and we're gonna climb that ladder and show you what you're getting for what you're spending. Let's check this stuff out. All right, cool. So first up, we're gonna check out the Burton Freestyle binding. So this one's coming in at 160, and definitely a good, beginner style binding when you're just getting into it. So what are we getting in this thing?
So this one, kind of like you said, it is definitely a little bit more forgiving for that, beginner rider, or if somebody just wants a binding that's really soft feeling. Yeah. Some guys like that real spongy kind of feel for park and things like that. This has that polycarbonate base plate to it. Again, all bindings have that reflex base plate to them. So what it does is it actually flexes and works, as your board is flexing, the base plate flexes with it, so you're not getting any dead spots. It's got a pretty soft kind of urethane high back, so it's not digging into the back of your leg.
Perfect.
It also has the new injection molded React strap. So no more stitched straps in our line now. So just more eco-friendly, and frankly, they're just better. You don't have things holding water, they just last longer, they're shaped right, they're more comfortable. Aluminum smooth glide buckles, you got the flex slider there, and then injection molded super grip cap strap.
Perfect.
So, killer binding for the cash.
Great binding for the price, for sure. All right, next binding we're gonna look at 210 is the Mission. So this one also, they actually offer it in a winged high back as well. But for that little extra money, what are we getting on this one compared to the Freestyle?
So you go to this one, you do get a fiberglass reinforced nylon, and it just versus the polycarbonate. So what that does is makes the base plate a lot stiffer, more responsive. So if you are maybe a little heavier guy, or if you're driving boards that have some camber, just stiffer boards, you typically need a little stiffer binding to help drive that. So starting with the Mission, this will drive any of the boards in the line. So if you spent all your budget on like a Custom X, you should be putting at least something like a Mission on there, because it's going to be a lot more responsive. Also, the high back is a little stiffer, more responsive. You get the dial-a-flad too, so you can adjust the forward lean without having to respace your heel cup. But otherwise, the same strap package is what the Freestyle will have. Awesome. But like you said, it does have the winged option as well. That's the only wing in the line. So, and a lot of riders still like the wing. They can ride a soft boot, and it gives you leverage when you're pressing the board, and you're doing rails, things like that, or even just during free riding. It really just transfers a lot of energy right to the edge. Just when you're turning the board. So
kind of gives you the support where you need it, but also gives you the flexibility where you need it as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So killer, best binding out there for 210.
All right, next up, we're gonna check out probably the most recognized binding from Burton, the Cartel. And this one's coming in at 260, so we're jumping up 50 bucks in this one. So what are we getting for that extra 50 bucks for this binding?
So real similar base plate to what the Mission has, but you're getting the new updated high back, super clean looking, still has the dial-a-flat on it, still really responsive. You go to the hammock strap 2.0, which you do have the spine through the middle, and the actual hammock itself is a little bit stiffer. So you do get a more responsive strap when you go to this one. Okay. So, and then also, but still, aluminum smooth glide buckles, than the super grip cap strap. So just a little bit more responsive straps essentially, and a little cleaner looking high back.
Yeah, for sure. And this is obviously one of the most well-known bindings, and this you can pretty much put on just about any board if you wanted to. If you wanted to splurge a little bit, if you have a little, less expensive board, this is not a horrible thing to do, but you can obviously throw this in some of the higher end boards in the line and still have a great ride out of it.
Yeah, and it comes in both the reflex, and this is the first price point where you do get the option of having the EST.
Yeah. So the EST, for those of you who don't know, is for any boards that have the channel system on them.
Yep, just gives you more adjustments, but it can only be ridden on boards with the channel.
Don't forget that. All right, next up we're gonna check out the Cartel X. If you got a binding that's amazing, you don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You just make a little bit higher end version of it as well. So the Cartel X is coming in at 300. So what are we getting for that little extra dough on that one?
So again, both available in the Reflex and EST, but you go to the base plate material, it goes to a 45% glass to nylon ratio versus the 30. So it does have a stiffer, more responsive base plate yet. So it has that kind of stiffness of carbon just without the price tag.
Right.
Then you're also getting the heel hammock in the back. So the more slide your heel in there, it just presses in and just kind of wraps around your heel, giving you better heel hold, so you don't have to crank your straps down as tight. You're also getting gel in the heel area of the footbed, so you're coming down off those big landings, things like that. It's going to reduce that shock to your feet. And then also the buckles are a dual component buckle, so you're getting the nylon teeth, so they don't chew up the nylon teeth on the ladder straps. And then also the rubber overlay on the cap strap itself, just kind of grips the toe of the boot.
So we're definitely getting, a lot of upgrades on this for not a lot of money, actually. Yep. So you can literally kind of soup up that Cartel and get a little quicker, snappier ride and a little bit more grip out of your straps as well for just a couple more bucks.
Yep.
All right, next step up from the Cartel X, we're going to check out the Malavita. This thing became an instant favorite as soon as this released. God, it's been a while now. Another one of those things where you're like, has it been that long?
Yeah, it's kind of like a team favorite, my personal favorite strap binding, but a lot of guys on the team, it's like a lot of them ride either Cartel X's or Malavitas, and Malavita's just kind of a little bit more comfortable, kind of right down the middle flex on it. It'll drive any of the boards in the line, but a little softer flex than what like a Cartel X would be. Okay. So you go back to the 30% glass on the base plate. You go to the asymmetrical hammock strap. It's also a little softer density, so you get a little bit more lateral movement out of this strap. Then you go to the double take buckles. They're a little bit smoother, and then it still has that heel hammock in there, and then the gel and the B3 gel in the heel. To cut down on those pretty harsh landings.
So for $20, you're basically getting a little bit smoother buckles on this thing, and we're also getting that little more comfortable strap on it as well.
Yep. So really, it really just depends on what kind of binding you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you like stiff, you like something that's really gonna just have that knife edge performance, maybe you go Cartel X. If you like just that super comfy binding that drives any of the boards in the line, nothing too crazy stiff, then Malavita is a great choice.
Ain't it though? And it looks good too. Yep. All right, last up at $350, we're checking out the Genesis, which is my favorite binding in the Burton lineup. So extra $30 on this one. We're actually getting a lot of good upgrades on this one, aren't we? For just for a small little extra.
Yeah, a little bit different ride on these. These are I would say like the most comfy bindings in the line.
That's
they're
true.
Definitely a little bit looser, I would say. The Reflex has just got a 30% glass loaded nylon. The EST, however, is a pretty unique model where the kind of the heel cup top part of here is actually 18% glass, and the base plate that holds that attaches to the board, that's 30%. So with this hinge in here, you get a really good side roll to it. So you can really load up and get more movement laterally with it. You also get the kickback hammock on there. So it looks like it has two high backs, but essentially you got a really stiff external high back. But you got this hammock in here that wraps around your boot, and it's got kind of a spring in here that's built in. So wraps around your boot, grips your boot really well, so you don't have to crank your straps down as tight. Moves with your boot until you go to turn really hard, and then that's where the external high back kicks in. Also the React strap. On here is a little bit softer density, a little bit larger volume than like what would be on the Malavita. So it wraps around your foot a little bit more, but it's actually a softer density on there. So it still gives you that really good heel hold, but super spongy and soft. And then double take buckles, the gel, the rubber overlay in the toe strap. So that's been a really popular binding just because it's just so comfy, fits well.
I 100% agree with that one. All right, cool. Thanks for checking out the 21, 22 bindings and climbing that ladder. As you can kind of see, when you spend more, you get more. If you got any questions about these bindings or any of the other Burton stuff at thehouse.com, leave us some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we get you in the best gear possible for your riding style. Make sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And yeah, whether you like a nice soft binding or you like that stiffer binding or somewhere in between, get your board mounted up and get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.